We entered a primary. All three of us, and initially we entered. Oh, we don't want. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
so here I am.
Good morning, Commissioners. Welcome back. Commissioner. Praying for you guys. Okay. Tina.
Hi, how are you?
Commissioner. Welcome back. Praying for you guys.
Hi, how are you?
Commissioner. Welcome back. Praying for you guys. Hey, Sheriff. Long time no talk to you. We just got off.
How about that? That might work, but can mine go over? I don't know, what's like your. Hey, Michael, we were having some trouble with audio. I just want to make sure you can still hear us.
I can hear you. So far, so good anyway.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Ready? Call this meeting to order. Please rise. Ms. Hamilton, please.
Yes, sir. You'll join me. Father, you are so good, and we are so thankful that you have chose to love us unconditionally and to be there for us and just to be that source of guidance and wisdom and just peace, everything that we need while we're here on earth, you can provide in a heavenly realm. And we thank you for that. Lord, we just ask for your presence in this meeting room today and with each of the persons here today and represented. We thank you for the blessing of rain, and we thank you for the continued blessing of moisture that you have in store for our lands. We ask that you forgive us where we fail you and that you guide us and direct us in all that we do. It's in your son's precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, to be a symbol of perfect friendship among the united cultures.
Okay. Approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I think Commissioner Criswell is on there, so you might just have to ask for his vote.
Roy Lee,
Yes, can you hear me?
Roy Lee. He's
Can you
not
hear me?
present right now, so
He might be on mute. Actually, he is.
Roy Lee,
Yes, can you hear me?
yes.
And now.
Now we got you.
All right,
I'm assuming you had a
Alright.
yes vote.
yes, sir.
5 yes votes. Item 2, approval of minutes for October 3rd.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion made second to approve the minutes of October 3rd. All in favor, say aye.
I,
5 yes votes. Approval of accounts payable and payroll. Payroll from September 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 23.
I'm going to approve the accounts payable and payroll.
I'll second that. All in favor of approval of accounts and payroll, say aye.
Aye.
Roy Lee,
I,
aye. 5 yes votes. Informational items. Jody.
Morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me today. I have our quarterly report. Are you doing the slides? Okay. So we will get started. I'm Jody Diaz, Executive Director for the RCCDC. Just quickly, our staff and executive board, myself as the director, Eric Segovia is our president, Megan Hamilton, vice president, and Bruce Nixon is our secretary. Board members include Dr. James Johnston with ENMU, Ms. Hamilton with Roosevelt County, Ms. Austin with the City of Portales, Jessica Baldwin with Cannon Air Force Base, Noel Bartle, ENMU representative, Ms. Dixon with the Roosevelt County Commission, Kinsey Shelley, Chamber of Commerce, and Chad Heflin is our representative from the City of Portales. Some of our stakeholders, just as mentioned, we kind of have we call them big three. So City of Portales, Roosevelt County, and ENMU are our three big donors, as well as all of the other ones. I won't go through all of them that are listed that have donated to the organization. Just a few results over the last quarter. So as of right now, we have 3 new prospects looking into Portales, Roosevelt County. One particular is in that we are very close. We are all the way down to waiting on a contract that will be, as of right now, in the county. It is retail, but aimed at ag and kind of rural agriculture. Now that could be different if they get annexed into the city, but as of right now, that will go into the county. So very close on that business that could be coming in. That is one that I did meet out in Austin at a retail live event. So we're excited for that to possibly come through. And then we've got 2 other retail that are food beverage that are looking into the area. Last week, one of the retail, or excuse me, not retail, real estate, I guess they're like recruiters, were in the area. So we're kind of moving forward with those 2 as well. So those are our 3 prospects as of right now. We have 1 new lead that came in. We have 2 LEDA applications that have been submitted. We have 6 LEDA projects which are in the pipeline. Basically, that somebody has requested the LEDA application. We've sent it out and are waiting to get those back. Over the past few months, I attended the governor's conference in September in Albuquerque. That was a 2-day conference. It really was a good conference. There was a lot on site selection, was kind of the major, I guess, goal of the conference. And so that was really good. And then also Retail Live was in Austin at the end of August. So that was a good event as well. I went to Vegas back in May, and that was a very, very large event. There was I don't think I've done an update since I went there, but there was over 20,000 attendees at that event. It was very massive. The Retail Live in Austin is 1 room of retailers that is a lot easier to maneuver and be able to speak to people a little more openly rather than waiting in a long line. So it was still a good event, but it was definitely a lot calmer than the environment where there's 3 different conference halls going at the same time. So any questions so far? Good. Just a little newsletter put out just of a few things that we've had going. So our annual fundraising campaign, we will start again. We're actually kicking it off next month already because we're almost to November. We do have our donor appreciation banquet coming up. The invitations have been sent out. So we will start that fundraiser again next month. The next picture is just a picture of, there were 2 gentlemen from Washington, D.C. that came down to Cannon Air Force Base. In the picture, there's several different people, but from Portales, I believe it's Jody Bailey, and then Dr. Johnston and myself at that Cannon Air Force Base event. Jeremy Burma with Modern Woodman, he collaborated with me and put together a small business planning session that we put together in August. And then just a few pictures. That was the site selector panel up in Albuquerque, and just a picture of some of the regional people, some of our regional people from the governor's conference. A few of the projects worked on over the past year, we did assist with the F-111 project. We were the fiscal agent for that project, and that is completed now. We had 13 facade grants that were awarded. I think we've only got 3 that have not been paid out yet. They're still working on their facade. In the spring, we collaborated with there was New Mexico Workforce, City of Portales, Roosevelt County, ENMU. If I leave anybody out, I'm sorry, but we hosted a spring hiring event that was very well attended. I think we had over 80 attendees at that hiring event. And I heard 2 to 3 different comments just from some of the businesses that came to the hiring event, that they appreciated it. They met some good candidates. So we will continue to host that hiring event in the spring. And then, although we did not have anything to do with the funding, we did have we got some people connected, I guess, per se, on getting the pickleball courts finished or getting them started, not finished. But thanks to the personal donors, ENMU, everyone working together, we now have new pickleball courts over at ENMU that are open to the public as well as university use. So that was a great project to see completed. So at the end, just a thank you to our community partners that we work with. I've got just one more on a thank you that I wanted to go over. So one of the things that I've kind of set, and I'm sorry, I say we as an organization, I am the only person over there. So when I say we, I do include, our board and our organization. But one of the things that I've really been trying to focus on is our BR&E, our business retention and expansion. In a training I had a couple weeks ago, which we kind of already knew this, but just confirmed 80% of new jobs and capital investment does come from existing businesses. So going out to our businesses, to our organizations, meeting with them, finding out their needs. Are there red flags? Are they fully staffed? Is there anything that we can do? Because we certainly don't want to lose any of the businesses that we currently have in Portales and Roosevelt County. So the importance of going out, meeting those businesses, finding out what possibly their needs are. One in particular, which I did get permission to share, was with Mark Myers with Mymar. So I started, it actually was a different business that started the conversation with the site visit over to, we got connected with Mr. Myers, found, yes, these roads need to be repaired, fixed, whatever it may be. I got connected. So I'm thankful that Ms. Hamilton and Mr. Lovato both were able to come in, start those conversations. And now we do have a completed, I don't know what the right term is, but repaired road. Is that correct? It's been fixed. Replaced. And there are still more phases that we are continuing to work on, because that is a large, heavy use area, and we have a lot of businesses down in our industrial park. So it's important that we have adequate infrastructure for those businesses. So I just want to highlight that I appreciate the work on Roosevelt County and everybody that came together to make that happen. It does give us, a check mark on, okay, we were able to complete something from our site visits, because I feel like the first year, maybe I went in and I just kind of introduced people, this is our organization, if they knew about it or they didn't. But now we want to have measurable goals and deliverables on what we're doing. So we're not just going and meeting with you, but what needs to be done, if anything. Sometimes everybody's doing great, you check mark it, that they're doing good. But then other times, which I found, there always might be one thing or another that needs to be done, and we can assist on helping their business thrive. So that's one of the things that we kind of have been working on. So anyways, now I stand for any questions.
I have none. Thank you.
Thank you. Jody, thank you very much. Roy Lee.
I'm muted again.
He's on mute again.
He's probably busy.
Well, if there are any further questions, feel free to reach out to myself. And also we look forward to, we do have our banquet coming up on November the 13th. So we'll look forward to maybe seeing you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, it's time for public request. Anyone need to address the commission? Uh, Elected officials, Mandy Park.
Good morning, Commissioners, Chairman. I just have a little report. We started early voting on the 10th of October in our office. We've had 88 voters in person so far. We've mailed out 62 ballots and we've received 2 of those back. Election school is Thursday, the 19th for poll officials. They get a little refresher before each election. That's this Thursday at 2 p.m. at the Jake Lopez building. And then we start early voting at the alternate site with hours more convenient to people who work a regular 8 to 5. So we will start on the 21st, which is this Saturday at the Jake Lopez. And those hours are noon to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Friday and 10 to 6 on Saturdays from now till Election Day. And that's all I've got.
You good, Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Roy Lee? Okay, moving on, Treasurer's Office, Lael.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I want to hit just a few highlights that are happening in my office. Next week, our favorite time of the year, you will be getting your little love letters from us. So tax statements are scheduled to go out next week. If anyone wanted to, they can look up their account or even pay online at rooseveltcounty.com. There's a little link at the bottom, says pay taxes. It'll take you easily through that process. We're working on getting an IVR, which would be you can call into the office and you can pay over the phone if you like. Of course, there are convenience fees that the company that we go through, they add on to that for that process. Also, the state back in June when they came to have the tax sale, there was some issues with that tax sale, so they had to rescind it, and they will be here tomorrow to redo that tax sale in this room at 10 a.m. If anyone is interested, they can come and hopefully do your research before you purchase a property, and you can sign in with them to become a bidder. I think that's all the update. Before I move on, and we can talk about general fund balance information. I'm playing a little bit of a catch up since the end of fiscal year. So I'm going to have 2 months included. We're going to talk about your July and August. So we'll start with July. Your July general fund beginning cash was $2,925,747.90. You had debits of $464,994.02, and you had credits of $685,235.96, leaving your general fund ending cash at $2,705,505.96. Does anyone have questions over any of the July balances in your report? Okay. Well, we'll just go right on into August then. And of course, that means that August's beginning cash was $2,705,505.96. You had increases or debits of $425.86. That still didn't come out right. And then we had credits of $598,696.19, leaving general fund ending cash as of end of August at $2,507,235.63. Are there any questions over the August balances as presented. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lynn. Carol.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into indigent meeting.
I'll second. Motion made to go into the indigent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Good morning. This batch of indigent claims includes 20 claims for $16,267.54, of which I recommend 16 for approval, $12,439.54, and total disapproved 4 claims for $3,828. Fedco Emergency Physicians, 2 claims for approval, $218.65. And 2 disapproved. 1, the patient had Medicaid, and the other one, it was another county inmate for $1,896. For Roosevelt General Hospital, 13 claims for approval for $12,121.67. And 1 for disapproval. And he was a patient brought in by Portales Police Department for $1,900. Concord Radiology, 1 approval for $99.22. And 1 disapproval. Patient was brought in by Portales Police Department for $32. Do you have any questions on healthcare?
Carol, one quick. Why would a patient brought in by the Portales Police Department have to be any factor for disapproval?
Why would it be disapproved? They are from another entity. The only way we'll approve it is if they were booked into Roosevelt County Jail. And this
Okay.
patient was not booked in yet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Chair- oh, go ahead, I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Go
Are you
ahead.
done?
We need to do the burial too, right?
Yes,
Indigent.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a motion, come out of
Yeah.
indigent.
yes, so
I
this batch also had a indigent burial. On September 19th, the Office of Medical Investigation of Albuquerque informed Roosevelt County by email that an unclaimed body resident, they had an unclaimed body resident of Roosevelt County. Upon further research, it was discovered that he indeed was a resident of Coronado Nursing Home, which used to be Heartland, but it's Coronado now. The decedent was verified to have no next of kin and is indigent, has no estate, which is verified with the county clerk's office. No probate has been filed. It was also verified decedent is not a veteran. Verifications are included in his document file. We searched a funeral home that would take the unclaimed body until Riverside graciously accepted to do the indigent cremation. Riverside, which is in Albuquerque, will also store the cremains for the 2-year requirement for Roosevelt County. I request that $1,000 be approved to pay Riverside.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Amber, but it went up from 600 to 1,000, right? State statute, so that's what we're allowed to do. And not that it's an obligation or we're legally obligated, but we have discretion to do up to 1,000, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that was a very good gesture on Riverside's part to be able to do that. So we can't do any action, right, Mr. Chairman, until we get out of indigent on this one.
Correct.
So I move to come out of indigent.
Second.
Motion made second, come out of indigent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Council or Amber, do I need to do two separate motions to approve the indigent as reported by Ms. Costa? Or can I do both? Can I do one motion inclusive of the burial and? Okay, Mr. Chairman, then I move to approve the presentation from our indigent administrator as presented by Ms. Costa. And also I would make a motion to,
Included.
they told me to do, I could do two. That's what I just asked.
Not at the same time.
You can't do two motions at the same time. You can do them two, like approve
Well,
the
that's what I was
board,
asking.
sorry, approve the board report, both items in one motion.
Okay,
I second, come out.
thank you.
It's already done.
Thanks, I second to approve the indigent report.
Thank you.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve indigent report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now,
Now I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, to approve the burial expense of $1,000 towards to Riverside Funeral Home in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
and I'll
Indigent burial.
do what?
Second.
Second, motion made second to approve the Riverside burial. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hamilton.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. A few things to go over this morning, and then I will cover the state of the county and that part in our presentation as well. So just a couple of things to update. We are chip sealing again today. We are looking to have industrial taken care of today. We're doing our second layer on that, and we're doing some work out on Highlands as well. We should have industrial completed today. We will look at micro sealing in the spring, and that's a joint effort we did with Mymar Trucking, and that they are paying for the materials and we're providing the crew to do the work. They've done a lot of great work out there. I don't know if y'all have driven that area, but it's looking really nice. They'll broom it off and have that wrapped up this week. Highlands should be completed this week as well. That will close out Local Government Road Fund 23, and TPF will be closing. We have our engineer scheduled to come in and inspect all the work next month. So all of that will be taken care of, and Miss Flores is training Miss Weems on all of those fun steps of the closeout. We also got the law enforcement complex and magistrate court parking lot resurfaced as approved in the budget process. They're going to be striped later this fall. We're waiting on the painting crew to come through, but if you haven't seen that, I would encourage you to go take a drive through the parking lot. It's very, very nice. A lot of they did all the patching and everything before they did the resurfacing. So it was a great enhancement to that area. We are working on capital outlay in the road area. We have about 890,000 for 22 and 23. And then we also have FY24 local government road fund of about 715,000. So we've got a lot of work to do. A lot of that is Caliche Road. So that'll be great for the guys to really be working through this fall and winter as our weather is getting pretty tight on that need for temperatures for the oils and emulsions. I did attend the New Mexico County Insurance Pool Board. We had a very detailed report and training over the actuarial report and everything. And then also another highlight is they've got the Road Ready available to where we can really utilize that for our defensive driving to ensure that we have everybody kept up. There are some trends that we're watching closely, obviously with the New Mexico Civil Rights Act and such. So there are a lot of things that we'll continue to update all of our members on. And we are sharing that actively with each of the counties. We are finishing up the New Mexico Sentencing Commission grant. We have one more Calming the Crisis class. This is a great introductory class. For some of our new hires, we're also opening it up to county and city leaders so that they can take it back to their area. This is one of those that is great for the entry level, and all of that information is on our website and it's been released a couple weeks now. So we're sharing that, and that'll close up that grant. We do have procurement out for aggregate. We have that bid out, and we're working with the engineer on the courthouse doors. Gary has also ensured that the new elevator car has been procured. We're just waiting on that order to be completed, which likely could be 3 to 4 months, we're told, with the back order. And then I also wanted to highlight just a little bit that we're seeing in our quarterly economic development report that is coming out of the EDD. So in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 23, 26 of the 33 counties saw year-over-year economic growth, 10.6 growth statewide in matched taxable gross receipts. State gross receipts increased from the third quarter, bringing to the highest ever quarter in MTGR for the state. As growth in New Mexico continues, the nation keeps an eye on the direction of inflation and the rising interest rates while labor markets continue to adjust post-pandemic. One of the things to note, of course, with Roosevelt County, it continues to be driven 45% by construction and retail trade. We are continuing to see a decrease, and we have had this ongoing discussion about the change that we're seeing in our agricultural industries. So when you look at agricultural industries in terms of total gross receipts, there's been a 23% decline year-over-year change from this. When you're comparing fiscal year 23 to 22, we have seen a growth in construction. As we know, a lot of federal dollars have been flowing through to the entities and such. And so we've seen a 48% growth there, 280% growth in manufacturing, a 36% decline in mining, quarry, oil and gas extraction, and a 26% decline in transportation and warehousing. And I'm just hitting the higher ones that are over that 20% figure. When you look at employment data and such as well, we're continuing to see a decline. It's about 11.4% in agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting. So again, of note, as we've been made aware, we have several dairies that have changed hands or are closing, selling. It's very commodity driven, very much a challenge right now in terms of those agricultural operations. But at the same time, it's a very significant part of our tax base and something that we are going to continue to talk about and be aware of, because we just don't know what this is going to mean long term. Obviously, the trends are shifting. We've seen that happen with farming, a lot less of the farmers, even with dry land and irrigated and such, with our water table situation. And so all of that is something that we will continue to closely monitor. So the next thing that I would want to highlight is up on your screen, and I want to cover this as just planting a seed for y'all to have the next almost 30 days to talk about. So we have an opportunity to do a debt reduction. And that's what I want to talk about. It's the 2011 NMFA bonds for the Special Events Center. So the total amount for this bond for the loan was $1.638 million. And this had a blended interest rate of right around 4.221. The loan life is at 25 years and the scheduled payoff is at 2036. Right now, where we're sitting, this is our callable bond, and this is currently the highest yielding bond with our interest rates. The payoff is approximately $1.075 million. Our annual debt service is just over or right at $114,000 a year, and it continues to increase just a bit and then decline as we get closer to the 2036. Preliminarily, the project interest savings, if the commission would consider paying this off, is somewhere between $200,000 and $250,000 over the life of the debt service. So that would be a direct savings to the county. For me, I'm bringing this forward, and I want y'all to start thinking about this because we know that the San Juan Mesa Wind Project IRB expires or is done in their payoff in December of 2025. And right now that's budgeted at an income of 153,000 annually. So it's not going to quite be a net difference, but it would get us in one position to be able to better absorb that loss in revenue, is to have one less debt service. So at this point, the commission can utilize cash reserve to pay off that debt. And the goal of the commission, since I came here, the charge has been to try to really minimize our debt footprint, improve our financial performance and our capability, and really shore us up. And this is one of the best ways that I can find to do that. So I do have our industry expert, Eric Harrigan with RBC Capital. Y'all will remember him. He's been here before. This very much goes in line with what we've worked with them over the past several years. So we have, as you'll recall, early on, we had to restructure debt. We refinanced debt. We were always looking at the advantageous part of this. Now, obviously, with the interest as it is in the market, there is the potential, for good performance on your investments. However, it's finding that balance, and this is my recommendation of paying that off, because we know that the interest rate's going to be where it's at right now, but at the same time, we have the ability to utilize the cash reserves to pay off this debt and put us in a better performance or a better position financially for the long term. So Mr. Harrigan is planning to attend the November 14th meeting. He will have more detailed presentations. He's putting together all the formal numbers for y'all to be able to to look through. It would be a process. We would, once the commission decides, if they y'all decide to move forward with this, then there would be a resolution and all of that stuff. So this isn't something that's going to happen immediate. I wanted to give y'all the information, give you plenty of time to research, come in and meet with me. Let's talk through this. Anything you need, any additional information, I'm happy to share. But this is what I would suggest in moving forward in terms of budget. So I wanted to present that, and I have lots of information compiled. So again, happy to share that with you. And if you have any questions before I jump into the state of the county.
I've got a question, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board. You threw out a lot of numbers, Amber.
Hold on.
Wow. I was gonna say spider. You threw out a lot of numbers, and my main question was gonna be, where we're gonna get this money from, and obviously you said cash reserve. What's the biggest incentive? What is our reserve amount right now?
At this point, we have just over 8 million in cash reserves. And this is something that can utilize some of those one time that we're seeing, whether it's the influx we've seen in grocery receipts tax through our local retail with the temporary closure of the Clovis Walmart and some of those kind of things that we're seeing influx in our numbers. So that would come from our cash reserves. The commission initially set at least a minimum of 6 months of operating reserves in the cash, which would be 4.5, 5 million. So we have room there to pull from our cash reserves to service this debt.
And the payoff was what?
Just over 1.075 million,
Would be the payoff.
approximately,
And
yes.
then how much is it gonna save us? The cost effectiveness of it? I know you went all over all this, but I
No.
want to get a clear
So
picture.
initial, just the preliminary projected interest savings are the 200 to 250,000. Those are all the just preliminary numbers. When Mr. Harrigan comes and presents, he will have all of the final. And then, of course, the annual debt service of about 114,000 this year and ongoing. There's a schedule to the debt service, so each year it varies.
Yeah.
But it would save us all of that.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be I believe it's going to be cost effective for the county, but we really need to think this over, because I don't want to leave my term next year and me find out the county's broke. So I think we really need to study this. And really, I don't know if it's a feasibility study, but we really need to see some projections and be realistic about it, because I would hate to leave the county and you guys be in a in a predicament where y'all were gonna say, oh, blame it on Commissioner Lopez. It was him.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, true.
It's your fault.
But anyway, thank you for that information. And yeah, it will give us some time.
That'll be great. He'll have a lot of those final things prepared for you. Any other questions before I jump into the state of the county?
Oh, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay, so as far as the state of the county, this is for 2023. There are 93 total county positions. As far as financials go, FY22, the financial audit reflected strong financial stability of the county. No findings received. Award from New Mexico Office of the State Auditor and New Mexico counties. Now this has been consistent from fiscal year 16 through 21. They're always 2 years behind as far as any kind of potential awards. FY23 final budget report, 24.4 million in revenues, 19.7 million expenditures. A significant part of those revenues, of course, is the federal funds that are continued to be expended. The Moody's rating continues at an AA2, AA3, which is a high quality grade. It has improved from an A3 in 2015. That goes to speak to what you're talking about. Would not make those recommendations without the strong credit ratings and backings there. We have 8 million in required reserves. That was rebuilt from 0 in fiscal year 15. 3.8 million in the commission's special reserves for county capital projects that again was set aside for those one-time capital projects. In terms of operations, we've developed a visual 3-year strategic plan for the county with bold steps to be driven by various personnel. Some of those items, as you've seen, have moved forward. Ms. Flores, myself, tag teamed on the ICIP. Mandy has done a great job on the communications vehicles and some of the things she's rolling out there. I know Ms. Bagwell has been working on the workforce committee and has a subcommittee on that one as well. So several of those bold steps we've seen continue to move. We have continued utilization of the 5-year planning process for county maintained roads, including increased miles of chip sealed and micro sealed roads. We have enhanced and rehabilitated 55 miles of county maintained roads. That doesn't include the regular maintenance of 1,208. Completed the majority of the 2.8 million TPF grant scope of work for road improvements, other various grant projects, and received new grant funds and have several pending applications. We secured just over $760,000 in capital outlay funding for upcoming priority projects. We've completed projects with NMDOT funding of an additional $500,000 in local government road fund projects. We've maintained ongoing communication with legislative representatives regarding Roosevelt County needs and concerns. We've completed the multi-phase of the ADA drainage program or project at the Roosevelt County Fairgrounds to include all of the walking areas and sidewalks. Detention Center achieved their second reaccreditation, and the policies and procedures continue to be reviewed annually. We had one major facility incident in 2022-23 fiscal year, and we have a continued reduction in notice of tort claims as 3 were received. We've completed facility upgrade projects to enhance security, map programming, and building improvements at the law enforcement complex. We've sustained map programming with secured grant funding for program continuation, completed numerous behavioral health outreach and training events for the region and classes. Regional collaboration for the regional behavioral health facility is ongoing as the initial feasibility study was completed. We've continued into the second phase as the region was awarded $10 million in capital outlay to initiate planned facility. And this is being presented to you and will also be included on the website with the other annual reports that have been presented there. On a side note, I continue to be part of the managers affiliate, serve on the New Mexico County's Insurance Pool Board as a Southeast Region representative, serve on the New Mexico Adult Detention Professional Standards Council, serve on the New Mexico Adult Misdemeanor Compliance Professional Standards Council, and served on the New Mexico County's work group for Senate Memorial 6, House Memorial 11, the Task Force on Prisons and Jails. So that is your presentation of your annual report, and I would stand for any questions.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a question. You made a comment in 15, cash balance was 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The reserves. Mhm.
Okay. And then, and now you're talking about 8 million.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
That's good news.
Yeah. A little bit of difference. Going to item 7, new business. Discussion and update, continue public service negotiation with City of Portales.
Mr. Chairman, I had a couple of things under the commissioner's line item.
I forgot to get that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I have a lot.
I won't need 30 minutes, maybe 3. Mr. Savage,
Go ahead. yes.
maybe 3. Okay, so I'm gonna-
Commissioner Lopez, would you please?
this has been weighing on me for many, many, many years, and you guys are gonna probably get tired of the broken record, but I want to address Lime Street again. And we already know that the city doesn't have this project on the radar, but it does adjoin our Roosevelt County Fairgrounds. So I would like to honestly do something as far as maybe in the feasibility study, what it would take. Number one, for us to improve the road where BNSF did the approaches and did their part years ago, from 70 to Boston. And then also I would like, even if you guys gave me, I don't know if permission is the right word, but if directives for me to revisit with the upper management like we did back in the day with the corporate or industrial corporations that are in and around that area, i.e. the peanut places. They were willing to work with us when we did negotiations with them several years ago, but everybody just kind of threw it off. And I just think that we're enhancing our Roosevelt County Fairgrounds, and it's just a major eyesore in my opinion. And I wish that we would really look into it. Like I mentioned last time, I have no road budget. I have no roads within my district. I don't know if it's fault of anyone, but that's a mood issue. So I would really, really like for us to consider revisiting this with upper management, with the business owners, and just see, I would like to just see what it would cost. And I think it would just enhance the fairgrounds tenfold. Because that road is beat up and it's just, like I said, it's an eyesore. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention. I'll get with Amber, see if maybe what would you commissioners would be willing to pursue, if anything. I mean,
You'd
it's-
like to change Lime Street to Lopez Drive?
sure, we've got a year and 2 months left. I love you, Commissioner Greider. The other thing is, on a lighter note, I attend the Eastern New Mexico University Parade every year as a Roosevelt County Commissioner. And I just wanted to see if which commissioners would be willing to partake, if any of y'all, this Saturday, just to represent our county. Like I said, I'm in the parade literally pretty much every year unless I've had conflicts, but would any of y'all be interested in attending that on Saturday? I know Commissioner Dixon, I think you've got a wedding out of town. And if you guys cannot, because it is, takes a lot, and then we have, there's festivities throughout the whole day. But if you cannot, I was just gonna let you guys know that I'll be representing as District Court and Roosevelt County Commissioner during the parade. So if you guys can let me know, not right now, I mean, I can call you guys later. We have till Saturday at 11. And
What are we needing? What are your needs?
lots of candy. No, well, Mr. Chairman and I had visited a couple of weeks ago, and if everyone was gonna partake, and I don't know if you're still at the same status as when we spoke. I don't know if things have changed. You know how life is. But Commissioner Grader was going to bring his pickup, and we were all going to get candy. And then we have our Roosevelt County Commissioner signs, and kind of just to represent, kind of do the whole outreach PR stuff like we did for the Heritage Days. So really, all we would need is a vehicle. And if not all of us are going to partake, he's not going to bring his trailer. We could all just sit in the back of the pickup. Long bid. So, and throw candy. But that's discretionary. Like I said, I've already signed us up. I'm already signed up, well, Roosevelt Board of Commissioners, but if you guys can't make it, that's fine. If you can, that's finer. So I'll call you, Roy Lee, later on and just kind of get some of your feedback. Yes, I will be throwing out jerky. No. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now can we move on?
Oh, that is. Okay.
Oh, I do. I have something real quick. I know, I'm hurting.
No,
Okay.
you're gonna get to
So-
talking a little bit anyway.
I am, oh, sorry. So I sit on the EELU steering committee for NACO. So that's, some of this is part of what we do there. We do the WOTUS and the prairie chicken stuff and all of those different things. We talk about that at New Mexico County somewhat. But that has been something that everybody knows has been like near and dear to me, the fight for all of these things. So on the 23rd at 6 o'clock over at the Methodist Church here in Portales, we're going to do a stop the 30 by 30. Roy Lee goes, or Commissioner Criswell goes to all of these as well. And Seth Martin from Curry County. We've got Chavis, Lee, Lincoln, Otero. A whole bunch of us have got together and we're doing them in different areas. We're doing ours here on the 23rd. Margaret Byfield's going to come and speak, as well as Kelly Goss from Otero County. She's the rancher up there in Otero County that has went through heck and back with the federal government on her land. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I was doing that. I also wanted to make it clear that when I did do this, it does not say Commissioner Dixon anywhere, and it is not anything that I did through the county, even though it are things that I fight for the county. This still, I did not tack the county on, so there will be no liable to the county for it. It was something that me and several other people from different counties got together on to do it. And I believe all of us are doing it as individuals rather than through the county. So I just wanted to make y'all aware of it. And I hope that y'all would go and listen. There's going to be a great presentation. Farm Bureau is one that there's a Farm Bureau meeting that day. It's following the Farm Bureau meeting. They sponsored the meal and everything for it. And like I said, all the different counties got together to bring Miss Byfield down, and then she's going to go to all the other counties. I think it's the 23rd, the 25th, and the 26th. So she's going to just be in the area and travel to all the different counties. And so I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention.
Where is it going to be?
At the Methodist Church here in Portales, in the fellowship hall, or in the, yes,
When you say all the other counties,
the counties that I mentioned. There's someone from each one of those. Yes.
so how many counties?
There was Curry and Roosevelt. We got together and we're doing it here for our county people. And then Lee County's doing it on their own in Lee County. And then Otero, Chavis, and Lincoln have gotten together and they're doing it in Lincoln County on the 24th. And then, like I said, Lee County's doing it on the 25th.
Good, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Savage,
I don't have any.
just checking. Roy Lee, do you have anything? Okay,
I don't have
item
anything.
7A. Ms. Dixon.
So I do not have
any new updates with the negotiations. We have not met. I do know that Chief Kathy spoke to the city council at their last meeting and presented to them that he wanted to bring his presentation to us, and it was approved. He didn't make it, I'm assuming, by the deadline to get on this agenda.
No, ma'am, but they did submit a request to be on the agenda for the November 14th meeting. So
That's
they will
what
be
I-
on that one.
That's what I thought. So, so Chief Kathy would present. And I know this all gets frustrating and the fighting that's going back and forth, but I also understand that Chief Kathy is sticking up for his people and what he does. So, I look forward to hearing what he has to say when he presents at our next meeting. And then we can go from there, I guess.
Okay.
Amber, have they said anything on any, we did bill them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We've invoiced them, and has anything?
There's no response.
They acknowledged the invoice for South Roosevelt Road 6 and said that one would be submitted for payment. There was no acknowledgement or feedback on the invoices for the detention center.
Thank you.
Item 7B. Request for approval of asset disposal by public auction of a 2008 Chevy Impala from the detention center, a 2009 F-250, a 2005 Kenworth, or two 2005 Kenworth, and a 2012 John Deere backhoe. Stand for a motion.
Before we do that, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, real quick, I just wanted to clarify. So the 2005 Kenworths were when they were added to the county. When you actually track the assets back, they're actually 1995s that had been refurbished. So in the motion for disposal, if someone can please just move
Verify it's the
the
95 model.
1995s, yes, because they just were added, like say, to the county in 05, so they assumed it was 05 there, and I verified it. That was not correct. So I just want to make sure we get the years right so that we don't get held up by the state on disposal. Thank
Okay.
you. And then I have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. I have the information.
So point of clarification on the 1995, is it, they're all 1995? Like if I make the motion?
Just the two
Kenworth
Kenworth trucks.
Okay,
Everything else is as listed.
I would like to make that motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve asset disposal by public auction of the 08 Chevy Impala Detention Center into 09 Ford 250, the two 1995 Kenworth T600 trucks, and 2012 John Deere 310K backhoe from the road department.
And I'll second. Motion has been made and second to approve 7B. Dennis, how do you vote?
Yes.
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 Roy Lee. 4 yes votes. Item 8, resolutions, ordinance, proclamations. Item A, consideration proclamation declaring November 4th, 23 as Walk to End Alzheimer's Day in Roosevelt County.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, the proclamation declaring November 4th, 2023 as Walk to End Alzheimer's Day in Roosevelt County. Whereas approximately 43,000 New Mexicans currently live with Alzheimer's disease, and that number is expected to increase to 53,000 by the year 2025. And whereas over 85,000 friends and family in New Mexico provide $2.5 billion in uncompensated care for loved ones who have Alzheimer's disease and are subject to high levels of physical and emotional stress. And whereas Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States, and whereas dementia is one of the costliest conditions to society, the cost of healthcare and long-term care for individuals with Alzheimer's or dementia is substantial. And whereas the Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. And whereas thousands of New Mexicans will come together during the fall of 2023 to raise awareness and funds through statewide walks to end Alzheimer's events. And whereas Curry County, in partnership with Roosevelt County and the city of Portales, is organizing the annual Eastern New Mexico Alzheimer's Walk on November 4th, 2023 at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the North Plains Mall. Now, therefore, I, Paul Greider, Chairman of the Board of Roosevelt County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim November 4th, 2023 as Walk to End Alzheimer's Day in Roosevelt County, New Mexico, and encourage all citizens to attend the annual Eastern New Mexico Alzheimer's Walk and wear purple this day to raise awareness to Alzheimer's disease.
I move to approve.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded to approve item 8A. Tina?
Yes.
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 Yes. Roy Lee? 4 yes votes. Item 8B, consideration resolution 2023-42, supporting the 2024 New Mexico County's legislative priorities. Ms. Dixon?
Yes, I know that that was included in your packet,
Yes, ma'am.
and it is just the priorities that we have agreed on through New Mexico counties. We went over them several times, and this is what our final agreement was. And if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them.
Okay, I'll make that motion to approve 8B.
Second.
Motion has been made second to approve 8B. Rod?
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
4 yes votes. Roy Lee? Now then, moving on to item 9, procurements, contracts, and agreement. I believe Ms. Hamilton has some news on 8 or 9A. We need to,
Ms. Rivera made it down.
Oh.
She can tell you.
where's Lily? I didn't see. her.
Sorry, I was hiding in the corner. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, in this item, I'd like to request to table this item at this time as we are still in the negotiation process with this RFP for the food services for the detention center. The current vendor has agreed upon a 30-day extension, and we plan to have a request for an award on the next commission meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to table this agenda item for our next commission meeting in November 14th. For November 14th on agenda item 9A.
Second.
Motion made second to table item 9A. Tina?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
4 yes votes. Item 9B. Request for approval of intergovernmental agreement with the 9th Judicial District Attorney's Office and Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Sanchez.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. We are just seeking approval for this intergovernmental agreement between Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office and the 9th Judicial District Attorney's Office. And all this is House Bill 2 allocated some funding so we can go out and apprehend felony warrant offenders. DA's office is estimating that there's about 900 warrants between Roosevelt and Curry counties. We're going to be doing operations. We had a meeting last week just to kind of hash out all the details, but we'll be doing different operations between Roosevelt and Curry counties. It'll include my office, the Portales Police Department, Curry County Sheriff's Office, Clovis PD, Texaco. And so, yeah, we're excited to get these operations started and get these guys off the street. So I'll stand for any questions.
No questions. Mr.
I
Chairman.
move to approve item 9B.
I'll second.
Motion made second to approve 9B. Dennis?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
4 yes votes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Executive session?
You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
pursuant to 10-15-1 NMSA 1978-7 attorney-client privilege information pertaining to threatened or pending litigation, specifically Hernandez versus Roosevelt County, Ramirez Padilla versus Roosevelt County, Natural Chem litigation, Permian Basin Petroleum Association, ETL, VDOI, possible litigation regarding issues of privileged information relating to pending or threatened litigation. Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
detention center funding between the city of Portales and Roosevelt County, and to discuss attorney-client privileged information relating to pending or threatened litigation. I make a move, we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made, second to go into executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any recess necessary?
Should I say Commissioner
Thank
Criswell
you.
is present or absent for this executive session?
Absent if he doesn't answer.
Commissioner Leroy, Roy Lee, Criswell, are you present? Not at this moment.
If that changes, let me know. I'll record the times for hearing.
I bet is having trouble like I did that one time when I called in.
I think he's
Fine.
probably weighing cattle and sorting cattle. I talked to him. He said I
Thanks,
may or
Manny.
may not be able to.
Okay. We're not live, right?
Okay,